into an oil-coated 30-inch underwater pipeline at immense speed. These 5 men found themselves in an unimaginable waking nightmare, but only one of them would live to tell the tale.
Oh my God.
A GoPro camera mounted on one of the divers recorded the exact moment disaster struck. What it unveils will send shivers down your spine. On February 25, 2022, at the Berth 6 platform in Pointe-à-Pierre, the men of LMCS, Faisal Kirban, Kazim Ali Jr., Rishi Nagasar, Yusuf Henry, and Christopher Boudram were tasked with maintenance work on a dormant pipeline. The pipeline belonged to Paria Fuel Company, a government-owned oil company in Trinidad and Tobago. The pipe in question was a 30-inch U-shaped pipeline which runs along the seabed. It was designed to transport oil from Berth 6, where ships unload their oil, to Berth 5, the refinery. While some risk was involved, the 5-person diving team were well prepared and experienced divers. The team placed an air tube inside a diving bell, a unique habitat shaped like an 8-foot cube. The diving structure provided
a new fear unlocked, but it's only if you really, it's not something that you will ever run into in your life, to be honest.
Installed the cube structure over the pipe at Berth 6 to displace the water inside the work area. The cube created a pressure pocket of air that forced out the ocean water to create an appropriate workspace. Once ready, this work area allowed the crew to remove their diving gear and safely use their tools to perform their essential work. Undoubtedly, they had completed the procedure hundreds of times. As the 5 veteran divers performed their duties, it was business as usual. Until it wasn't. The company installed an inflatable plug 2 weeks earlier to protect the pipe's oil and prevent contamination. The line wasn't in service then, though it could be put into service when needed. The industry calls this dead legs, and it isn't without its risks. While this is standard procedure, the process requires intense planning, process hazard risk assessment, and close monitoring. Preparing for maintenance jobs like this can take days, if not longer. Unfortunately, this likely means the oil company wasn't willing to prepare for a safe operation.
I've seen this before.
But like most employees, the 5 divers were following orders. The divers descended to their work site, unaware of the surprise. As it turns out, inflatable plugs like this are pressurized, holding back the high-pressure air in the diving bell and the low-pressure air in the pipe itself. These events created the formula for disaster. Once Ali Jr. handed a wrench to his crewmates in the diving bell, they began loosening the valve to release the plug. The 5 divers had no warning. As soon as they released the plug, the pressure difference turned the inside of the pipe into a relentless vortex, ruthlessly sucking in air, water, people, and equipment into its depths. The power of the suction was too strong, and a torrent of water surged into the diving bell, turning their sanctuary into a death trap. The sudden influx of water and pressure differential unleashed a force that yanked the men and their tools into the narrow pipeline. In the blink of an eye, they found themselves hurtling violently.
They must have been dead by then. There's no chance they survived all that.
For an agonizing 90 seconds, fighting for oxygen. Suddenly, they came to a stop. They gathered themselves and assessed their positions in the pipe, realizing the gravity of their situation. They discovered that the violent tornado of water, air, and oil left them settled somewhere in the line where an air pocket allowed them to breathe. The sole survivor, Christopher Boudram, vividly recounts how it went down.
Tornado, everything just spinning and beating you up and tapping so fast. I couldn't react. The only thing I remember able to do was cover my head, like in the fetal position. After that, all I remember, I didn't even remember actually getting pulled in the pipe. I just remember going hurled through the pipe at unbelievable speeds. I couldn't hold my breath no longer, man. Truth. When you're holding your breath for too long, after a while, your body, your lungs just fight. Yeah, your waist closed, you see a noise.
Oh my.
Your body suffering to pull air. An unbelievable nightmare. Your eyes burning. Every time you try to open your eyes, it's burning. You're pitch black, you can't see nothing. Your throat burning. Your ears ringing. Your body sore. And at that point, I tell myself I was going to dead.
Bro, I'd be like, GG's.
Their struggle for survival was only beginning. The men were trapped inside a 1,200-foot-long oil pipe, disoriented, injured, and in absolute terror.
Yeah, I'm surprised that suck didn't kill them right away.
To communicate and keep each other's spirits up. However, the reality of their situation squashed down any hope of survival. The GoPro that had been with them for the dive recorded every second of their plight, capturing the sheer terror and sounds of struggle as the men fought for their lives.
LiveLeak has the full video.
Chris initially believed that they had been hurled through the pipe head first, so they had to crawl backward to make it out of the pipe.
Oh, shit.
But Kazim, Yusuf, and Faisal were sure they had gone in foot first, so he trusted the judgment of the majority. As the least injured diver, Chris placed his feet on Kazim's shoulders. He then instructed Kazim to pull the rest of the group together and instructed Faisal to push everyone since he was at the back. Linked together as a chain with Chris in front, they started trying to make it out of the pipe.
That's crazy.
Squeezing their way through thick, slippery oil residue in pitch-black darkness was unbearable. Dealing with broken bones, burning eyes, a burning throat, and extreme discomfort weighed them down. Their progress was excruciatingly slow, and the end was nowhere in sight. The men kept praying and moving to the best of their abilities.
I feel like my eyes are burning.
They eventually came across 2 oxygen tanks with the regulators still attached.
Loot.
Chris informed the men that breathing the air inside the pipe could make them delirious and nauseous. He advised them to take small sips from the tank in intervals to keep clear oxygen in their system. Although they found oxygen tanks, water levels rose as they progressed. Christopher noticed that some group members struggled to breathe and suffered various injuries. Others were blocked and unable to move. He decided to check how much the water would rise if they continued. As he moved forward, Chris came to a horrifying discovery. The next segment of the pipe was entirely underwater, and with just 2 oxygen tanks for 5 individuals, it wasn't safe to proceed any further. Knowing this, Chris had to make the hardest decision of his life.
Leave his group leaders?
He had to continue alone to get help for everyone. Chris prepared himself to tell the others. After explaining the situation to them, they agreed it was their only chance and gave Chris one of the oxygen tanks. Chris promised that he would get help and come back for them, and left. Still not entirely sure if he was going in the right direction and how much air he had left in the tank.
I saved myself to save myself.
Through the submerged section with the tank in front of him, hoping he would find another air pocket soon. The entire pipe had flooded sections, and some contained air pockets. After fighting to make his way underwater, he realized his oxygen was running out based on his air quality. With his diving instincts in overdrive, he breathed the last air in his tank. As if fate intervened, his tank collided with another metal object before him. It was another oxygen tank. He quickly tried to find the new tank's regulator. After scrambling in pitch black, he finally found it, but the regulator had no mouthpiece, so he pushed the whole thing in his mouth. His mouth was covered in oily sludge.
Oh, shit.
He managed to take a relieved breath from the tank. He knew he couldn't stop and continued with all his strength, uncertain how long he could survive. As he clambered through the pipe, he finally entered another air pocket. Yet, instinctively, he knew his only escape was returning to the riser. Unfortunately, this section of the pipe was half full of water. He found another air tank and reached the last flooded section before the riser. At this time, he heard Faisal calling out his name. He had been following Chris. He asked Chris to wait before he entered the last flooded section.
How the fuck did he make it there?
But Chris told him he couldn't wait any longer. They had been in the pipe too long, and that their time was running out. He continued until he found the bend in the pipe that he hoped would lead to salvation. After what seemed like hours, this next decision would decide his fate. This was the moment of truth.
Oh, shit.
Either this was berth 5, which was sealed off by a plug, or this was berth 6, where they came from. As he made up his mind for the third time to die, with one last push of determination, he kicked off towards the riser. As Chris continued to swim, he realized how tired he was, but he was determined to make it out and save his crew. Chris eventually reached the top of the pipe. Though he survived the ordeal, it wasn't over yet. As Christopher recounted the situation to the medical care staff, he recounted as many details as possible about the men and their position. Unfortunately, the rest of the LMCS team couldn't believe Christopher's story. The company assumed that the pipeline was full of oil and that any oxygen tanks they had would only give them an hour of air each. Rescue divers from the LMCS team dove down and knocked on the pipe, trying to find where the men were. They received the satisfying sounds of someone knocking back, undoubtedly providing the trapped men hope. But the LMCS team had yet to find a way to get them out. As the hours ticked by, the 4 injured divers suffered through their injuries, dealing with dwindling air, a curtain of suffocating oil fumes, rising seawater, and carbon dioxide. Though it seemed that Pariah Trading Company and LMCS would initially save the 4 men, a rescue never came. The company pulled the 4 remaining bodies days after the incident began. They performed autopsies, but no one could agree on when each man died. Officials decided they survived until Saturday, but some speculated that one endured until Monday. Officials launched a commission of inquiry in Trinidad and Tobago to investigate the circumstances that led to the Pariah diving
Chris about to get
tragedy.
a bag though.
Because everything inside my open, I rescue. Everything inside me open, I rescue what's going on. Nobody was making an attempt.
I'd be sad as fuck.
I always somebody who doesn't know what's going on, and I always somebody who can control and
boys
and see things through, and I feel like.
Damn, bro. All for 26 bucks. Alright, too soon. Or too late. Nah, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Look, unfortunately, I'm an asshole, so I would be like, yeah, at least I lived. Gang, gang. Oh, this is footage of him getting out. It's me or you. I'll carry on their legacy. Now, obviously, I would have to kill, bro. I'd be fucking upset. Anybody would. This is the footage of him getting out, right? Bro's right. Go, bro, Scotty.
I'm trying to come up. Chris, Chris. Right behind you, man. All right behind you? You're right behind me? Yeah. You don't know when you're come up?
Bro, that sucks. I wouldn't be able to hear this video over again.
Who making all that noise? Come on, all I mean, let's figure it out. We gotta go. We gotta start moving.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to come up. Trying to come up.
Sounds like the other one's drowning. Holy.
I'm trying to come out. Huh?
Bro.
Who is that boy? Yusuf? Oh, Yusuf? How long you have to walk before you meet Faizi? You and Faizi was together all the time?
Right now, we are fighting. Right now.
Who else with you?
We are fighting alone.
Kaz with you? Right there with Kaz, everything alright with you? No. Any elements break?
Ah, fuck.
Alright. Five. Anything happen to you? A five? Yusuf, anything happen to you?
Wait, what? Damn, even the guy that was right behind him couldn't make it. Yusuf, I guess? Oh no, Faz.
Alright.
Damn, dude.